and welcome to the Tesol Professional Education Center at Hankuk University of Foreign Studies. In this video, we'll begin with a brief history of the program and then provide key information about all of our courses. In March 2003, we started with just 12 students. 5 years later, in March 2008, the Tesol Professional Education Center was established in order to provide a higher quality of educational services for all. Over the past 17 years, we're very proud to have helped nearly 3,100 students successfully complete the program. Many have gone on to achieve a wide range of educational and professional goals to include graduate level study in the field.
At the Tesol Professional Education Center, we have 3 programs. The first program is a general course for people who are interested in teaching any age students, specifically middle school to adults. And this is targeted at all levels from beginner to advanced. We also have a 2-for-1 program, which is online, and 2 of the courses here are offline in the classroom, 4 of the courses are online, and 1 part is the practicum teaching at the end of the course. And then the final program that we offer is the program for teaching young learners. This is the Young Learner Tesol. It's specifically designed for people interested in teaching kindergarten to elementary students. So here you're going to find out about the 3 different programs we have at the Tesol Professional Education Center.
Both the general and 2-for-1 sections have 6 courses. Materials Design and Development, Multimedia and Materials, Teaching English Language Skills 1 and 2, Tesol Methodology, and Testing. So the difference between the 2 is that all courses in the general section are offline, whereas for 2-for-1, all classes are online except for Teaching English Language Skills 1 and 2. Teaching English Language Skills 1 and 2 covers the 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing, as well as grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. The focus is on practical activities, and these are ones that can be modified and used right away in your classroom. In class, the emphasis is on experiential learning, that is, learning by doing. Now this allows for a dual perspective, both teacher and student, which will result in a deeper level of retention and understanding. Students in the course also regularly engage in reflective practice, which means that they regularly review, think about, and process all that they're learning. Example lessons are another important facet of the course. Teachers will model lessons for the 4 skills and 3 language systems, and together with students, will analyze what helps learning to happen and what hinders learning from happening. At that point, students will develop their own lessons, one for each of the 4 skills. Now at the end of the semester, students will select one of these 4 lessons and engage in something called micro-teaching. Now this is a form of practice teaching that includes both peer and teacher feedback. All in all, it's a very practical course that students enjoy very much, which I hope that you'll be a part of.
Hello everyone, I'm Marilee Briniger and I am the coordinator for testing. You've probably taken so many tests in your life that you feel very familiar with tests. And when you hear that word, you probably even feel a lot of anxiety. And so our goal in this class is to change that, because we don't want your students to feel fear of English because of their testing experiences. So we want to take the negative and turn it into something positive. So in this class, we have 2 basic parts. In the first half of the semester, you're going to learn a lot of terminology, because although you can probably talk generally about what makes a test good or bad, you don't probably yet know the right terms to use. So we're going to learn all about different concepts of testing, the different kinds of validity, and then we will move on to the different kinds of reliability, and we'll put all of these concepts together so that by the end of the first half of the semester, you can talk about testing and analyze tests using the correct terminology. Then the second half of the semester is when it gets really fun, because you get the opportunity to actually make tests. So the first kind of test we're going to make is a reading test. And to mimic the situation of real life, you're actually going to work in groups, because in real life, especially in Korea, whenever important tests are made, we don't usually make them alone, we make them as part of a team. And so that's the process that we will carry out in this class. You're going to make a reading test, working together with your peers, and then we're going to move on to the other 4 skills as well. You'll make a speaking test, you'll do that with a group, and you'll actually get the opportunity to administer your test on students to see if it actually works out the way you wanted it to or not, and determine if your test is actually valid and reliable. And then you'll also make a listening test and a writing test. I think this course is one of the classes that gives our program a big advantage because tests do have such a big impact on students in Korea and even on teachers and the way we teach. And so I really recommend this class. It is my favorite class to teach, and I hope to see you in this program.
Hi, my name is James Braun, and I've been asked to talk to you about the Tesol methodology course. The Tesol methodology course comes in 3 flavors. There is the regular Tesol methodology course, there is the YL Tesol methodology course, and there is the online 2-for-1 methodology course. Now, all of these courses are very similar, but they're also slightly different because of the focus and or the medium through which it is conveyed. Now, what I'd like to talk to you about next is what do we mean by method and methodology? Well, a method is a procedure for the teaching of language. The methodology is the study of these procedures. Now, there is no perfect method, but we can, over the course of the semester, identify best practices. That is, there are specific techniques and strategies that will help your learners to learn. We'll also be looking at the principles and beliefs that underlie these techniques and strategies. Okay, so what are our goals this semester? We have 2. Our first goal is that we need to take a look at our own beliefs about language, teaching, and learning. Our second goal is, of course, to learn about the beliefs and principles of 11 different methods. Now, these methods come in 3 different categories. There are historical methods, those are fairly old. There are humanistic methods, they're more recent. And then there are contemporary methods. And we'll be studying these 11 methods and learning about our own beliefs and the beliefs that underlie them. I look forward to seeing you, and good luck.
My name is Andrew Prosser, Coordinator for Multimedia and Materials. Multimedia and Materials is divided into 2 parts. In the first part of the course, we'll be looking at how to create your own slideshow-based lesson using PowerPoint or some other software, integrating audio, video, and images. We'll be looking at how to make a slideshow interactive and how to create your own audio and video using freely available editing tools. In the second part of the course, we'll be looking at more traditional, non-digital materials such as flashcards, study boards, board games, and worksheets, and the principles for creating more effective materials of this type. In the final part of the course, we'll be returning to digital materials, looking at educational apps and how to create a website for your classes.
Hi, I'm Todd Javin, and today I'll be talking about the Materials Design and Development course. Obviously, the focus is materials, but in order to use or introduce materials to students, we need to do that through a framework. And in this course, we'll look at 2 different frameworks, or basically types of lesson plans. The first one is a productive or speaking framework, which could be used for lexis, vocabulary, or for grammar, etc. We basically want students to produce and be active in the speaking way, if you will. And so that's called an EIF framework. There's a second framework also, which we'll use materials through, and that's called a receptive framework or PDP framework. And this works well for reading and listening. So 2 frameworks, productive, receptive, EIF, and PDP. But the second component of the course will also look at other materials and how we may supplement or add to our materials that we've already used or found or developed, how we might adapt materials that we come across or not use at all for whatever reason, And selection is the other component there. So we have select, adapt, we may reject, or we may supplement other types of materials. So we'll look at a range of activities that allow us to use materials through these two different frameworks in this course, as well as some helpful theory or background that can help us understand how these are applied and why. Thank you.
Moving on from the 241 and the general course, I'm going to introduce now the YL program. As you know, young learners are very different from adults. The kinds of lessons, materials and activities that work for young learners is quite different. So with that in mind, we have this program specifically designed for people who are interested in teaching kindergarten to elementary students. This course has some differences from the general program, so let me introduce all of the courses that are in this program. First, I want to talk about listening, speaking, and TEE. Now, TEE means teaching English in English. So on this course, you're going to learn about classroom language and using classroom language effectively when you're teaching young learners, and also teaching listening and speaking. Now, listening is really important for young learners because listening is often the first way that we are exposed to new language. So listening skills and hearing new language is really important, and you're also going to learn about speaking activities as well. The next course is literacy for young learners. This involves things like reading and writing. Also specific topics for young learners such as phonics and sight words. So these are the building blocks of learning how to read for young learners. The next course is materials development for young learners. This has some similarities with the materials development course on the regular program, but all of the materials and lessons and activities that you're going to see in this course are specifically for young learners. So using things like toys and realia and games that are very suitable for young learners. The next course, Tesol methodology, is also a little bit similar to the general course. You're going to learn about the history of methods and techniques in Tesol. Now we have two special courses on the YL program that are different from the general and the 241 programs. The first one is Project Works, which is basically cross-curricular project-based learning. This means bringing other subjects into the language classroom, subjects such as history and science and math. And if you teach in a kindergarten, this is often what you're doing. You bring in other subjects into English language teaching. The final course is storytelling. This is a very fun course. As I mentioned, listening is really important for young learners. So on this course, you're going to learn about using storytelling in the classroom as a language teaching tool and how to engage learners with stories in order to enable their learning. So these are the 6 courses for the YL Tesol program. If you're interested in teaching kindergarten to elementary students, then I suggest this program for you. So you've heard about the history of the program and you've learned about the courses for the general, the 241 and the YL programs. If you have any questions, please contact us at the Tesol Professional Education Center here at Hanguk University, or you can attend one of our briefing sessions offline. Thank you very much for watching the video and we hope to see you soon.